Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Khan, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking the Bleach captains. Before we get into this, I would like y'all to know this is end of season, meaning the last chapter of Bleach, which includes feats and scaling from Camp for Your Own World. Let me repeat, this includes feats and scaling from Camp for Your Own World. So basically how I'm going to do this tier list is that S plus is basically like the transcendent characters that like significantly above the rest of the characters. These are like the high tiers. You're very strong, very strong. A plus is that you're strong. A is that you're strong too, but you're not as strong as these characters, right? B is that you're decent. C, you're basically garbage. And if you're below C, you're not even a captain at this point. You just fodder. Like you're just fodder. All right, let's get started. So the first person I'm gonna have is S plus is, you know, my main man, Base Eyes. Psych, I lied. This dude is not up there. He's not up there. First person we have is Kenpachi Zaraki. Alright, let's go into the reasons. First off, he was stated to be the strongest Shinigami, so that would automatically put him above characters like Shunsui, Toshiro, Byakuya, etc. And then he's one of the 6, possibly 7 people who could have beaten Hikone as stated verbatim in Camp for Your Own World. Right, so the people who stated is Kenpachi, Kisuke, Mayuri, Aizen, Ichigo, and Ginjo, and possibly even Aura, whatever name it. Kenpachi is massively above Tokinada and was going to destroy Shuhei just by flexing his Ryatsu. Right? And Shuhei was able to box with trade blows with Tokinada and damage him also. So yeah, that just goes to show the difference in power between Kenpachi and Tokinada. Tokinada stated to be relative to Byakuya and Yodorichi, etc. He one-shot an Ikomiki Domoe that absorbed Ryo's fragment with his Jikai. This same Ikomiki Domoe was able to basically neg Ishibe's spell that he put on Ikomiki Domoe like 1,000 years ago or something like that, right? And also during the Kenpachi versus Hikone fight, Kenpachi was not going all out at all, right? He was just trying to enjoy the fight, right? Like he does all the time. He didn't even have his Shikai activated, nor his Bankai, so he still has those amps. He did have his eye patch. He did take off his eye patch, you know, so that's a good thing for Hikone, but he still had this Bankai and Shikai amp, right? And for those of you who say, wow, how do you know Kenpachi be able to use his Bankai, right? It doesn't matter if he can activate it consciously, right? If he needed to activate his Bankai, Yachu would just do the same thing she did against Gerard, right? She would just activate it for him. So the Bankai amp still exists, right? So to go over Tokinada's ability real quick, he's able to copy other Shinigami's Zanpakuto abilities and stuff like that. He's able to copy Kyokusugetsu, Ryujin Jaka, Senbon Sakura, etc. Right? So depending on his spiritual pressure, the ability of the Zanpakuto is either increased or decreased, right? So when Tokinada uses like Hanatu as Zanpakuto, the ability and capabilities of the Zanpakuto is drastically increased because of Tokinada's spiritual pressure. And also, if he uses somebody like Yamamoto's spiritual pressure, who has significantly higher spiritual pressure than Tokinada, the ability and capabilities of Ryujin Jaka is significantly decreased. And I'll get into that later. But that's just an overview of Tokinada's abilities, right? So Tokinada was able to copy Kyokusugetsu. Because Tokinada is not as strong as Aizen, Kyokusugetsu was a lot weaker than when used by Aizen and stuff like that. And it has a lot more weaknesses than when used by Aizen. It's stated in the novel that to dispel Tokinada's Kyokusugetsu, you need spiritual pressure around Aizen's level, right? You can argue it's referring to base Aizen, but it's most likely referring to Mugen Aizen. It's consistent, right? So Kenpachi, Aura, and Hikone are the 3 people that's able to basically resist or dispel Tokinada's Kyokusugetsu as stated. So Kenpachi has spiritual pressure around the same level as Mugen Aizen. And Mugen Aizen should be massively above most of the people on this list. So that's the reason why the Kenpachi is the first on the S plus list. Next we have Kisuke Urahara. The reason why Kisuke is up here is because he was able to fight Aura, who was stronger than Tokinada, massively stronger than Tokinada. They basically had a whole Keto war, and Kisuke used Hado 99, and Aura activated these water and fire dragons and had a nuclear explosion, right? Aura is one of those people that's able to dispel Tokinada's Kyoku Sugetsu, right? And in order to dispel unique spiritual pressure around Aizen's level, right? So Kisuke was able to box his aura, and in order to dispel Tokinada's Kyoku Sugetsu, you need spiritual pressure around Aizen's level, right? That's one of the reasons why he's up there. He's also one of the 6 people that stated to defeat Hikone. Even if you want to say this is just by like tricks and the hacks that Kisuke has, it doesn't matter. He's able to beat Hikone, who's massively above the rest of the verse. So that's the reason why he's up there. It's not, this list is not strictly based on strength. It's also based on who would win. So moving on, we have Mayuri. The reason why Mayuri's up there is because, like Kisuke, he's one of the 6 people who can beat Hikone. Simple as that. You can say it's not referring to strength. That's obvious. He's just gonna find a way to beat everybody else below this list, just like he's gonna find a way to beat Hikone. Right. So let's move on. Alright, so next up we have Ichibei, Yosuke. Ichibei was able to fight with U-Haul, who was able to absorb Yamamoto's Bankai, as he's the only starter that can perform such feat, right? And during the fight, Ichibei was casually slapping this U-Haul around, treated him like his son and stuff like that. And that was until U-Haul activated his Almighty, but that doesn't really matter, right? Alright, moving on, we have base Psycholide, we have Yamamoto. Alright, Yamamoto. The man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT. He's stated to be transcendent of all other Shinigami back in the Soul Society arc. This is basically like part of his lore, stated by Ukitake back in the Soul Society during the fight. He's also stated to have the strongest Zanbakuto. Everybody should know this. It's stated multiple times, right, with Ryujin Jinjaku. And it's stated in FKT arc that he's unsurpassed in the Soul Society in the last 1,000 years. And this includes Aizen, right? So not only this is stated multiple times, and this is backed up by other feats of scaling. So in the database, it supports that he is unsurpassed. Nobody has been shown to be stronger than him, and that includes Aizen. In the database, it actually states verbatim that Aizen is not even a threat to Yamamoto. And this is consistent with other statements in the novel that I'll show you later. And even Aizen, during the fight, confirms this. He tells Yamamoto to his face that he would win if they fought directly, and directly like toe-to-toe, stuff like that. It's also stated that Yamamoto is completely beyond Tokinada, and Tokinada is stated to be on par with Byakuya and Yodorishi, right? Yamamoto is seen as this godlike figure who's completely beyond the likes of like Tokinada and Byakuya and Yodorichi, etc. Right. Back to what I was saying before, it's also stated that no being could have defeated Yamamoto, right? And this is referring to around the time frame of Turn Back to Pendulum, and this statement would also include Aizen. So unless I can prove base Aizen got stronger from the time he was a lieutenant to now, I mean to FKT, this statement would still apply to him, right? And it's also consistent. There would be no reason for Aizen to create one if Yamamoto beating him was not a possibility. So clearly Aizen needs to set up this precaution against Yamamoto because he can't beat him in a one-on-one fight. And it's just consistent with multiple statements. He's unsurpassed, he's stronger than everybody in 1,000 years, right? He can't be defeated, etc., etc.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT!
Alright, now that we got the important people out of the way, we're gonna start with the S tier. So first off in the S tier, we're gonna have base Aizen. He should be around, you can argue he's relative to Shikai Yamamoto. First off, he was able to damage Yamamoto, although you can argue that Yamamoto was purposely letting himself get hit. He was able to take a Haido 96 from weakened Yamamoto with little to no damage at all. Yamamoto had to create this major attack that would have killed himself and the entire Gotei 13 just to defeat Aizen. So like Aizen is indeed strong. He's relative to Yamamoto. Although he's not that relative. The reason why he's a whole tier below Yamamoto is because of Yamamoto's Bankai, right? If Yamamoto activated Bankai, Aizen has literally no way to defeat Yamamoto at all. Let's say they fought right, and they both started off in base. Aizen would stab Yamamoto, Yamamoto would grab his arm the same way he did before. And imagine if he activated Bankai. Aizen is turning into a pack immediately. And y'all can say when Yamamoto activates Bankai, Aizen is just gonna run around and wait till the Bankai, wait till Yamamoto he loses stamina. Are y'all dumb? Y'all acting like if Aizen wants to run away Yamamoto, he's gonna have to go to a whole different dimension, because if he's gonna wait for Yamamoto, the entire dimension he's in, including himself and Aizen, is gonna be turned to ashes. Did y'all not read the manga, bro? So, this dude Yamamoto's Bankai rage extends to a planet, possibly even a universe. Where is Aizen gonna run away from? He's gonna die just like Yamamoto if he runs away. So that's not even a good argument. Aizen would just get bodied by Bankai Yamamoto. He has no way to get him. Alright, next up we have Gin. The reason why Gin is up here is because he was confident that he was the only one that could kill base Aizen. And he was able to kill Transcendent Aizen, basically. Even if you want to say Transcendent Aizen was holding back the spiritual pressure that was held back shouldn't be below base Aizen, since he's Transcendent of Shinigami, right? Although I don't think Gin can beat Aizen. I think it's fair to say Aizen and Gin are on. Alright, next is Ishin. The reason why Ishin is up here is because he was able to box with Aizen, and Aizen always started in Transcendent, right? He was able to flick him into multiple buildings, block his attacks, and also take a major keto attack. Ishin is also able to damage the outside shell of Cocoon Aizen or Condu Aizen, whatever you want to call it, right? Even if you want to say base Aizen was getting weakened, sure he was getting weakened at the end of the fight. You just can't prove he was getting weakened at the beginning of the fight, right? Where Ishin was boxing him, right? And also Ishin wasn't even at full power. He still has his Shikai and Bankai, right? It's possible that he couldn't use it, but he just didn't use it. He just didn't. We don't know why though. Alright, moving on, we have Toshiro. Adult Toshiro actually. Adult Toshiro was able to react to both Nick Gerard and also freeze his shield and freeze his sword and slice it in half. It's also stated that anything that Toshiro freezes with his eyes while in the adult form, its function is no longer usable, right? And also, if Toshiro is able to take 4 steps, you're automatically frozen to the bone and you're dead. Basically. So that's why Toshiro was up there. Gerard is a staff member, so he's automatically above the rest of the Stern Ridders. Except characters like Uryu and Jugum, of course, right? Next up, we're gonna put Unohana up here. So I already know the cons. I already know what I'm finna get my games. I already know. I'm gonna put Byakuya up there also. The reason why I have Unohana up here, to be honest, it could go either way. I'm not really convinced with one or the other because Byakuya is fodder. Byakuya is fodder. You want me to tell you why he's fodder? You want me to tell you why? Let's look at the fight. First thing he does, as soon as Draw goes into guard size, he's able to casually swat away Byakuya's Senbon Sakura. He's able to casually throw Byakuya to the side, right? He states that everybody that's there, their spiritual pressure are so faint that he can barely even sense them, right? They're like against him. And then after the fact, he doesn't really do nothing in the fight. And then Byakuya doesn't really do much in the fight until Toshiro was able to completely freeze Gerard, and then Byakuya has to use his strongest attack just to break the ice. Y'all gonna argue, oh my god, y'all gonna argue Byakuya is able to react and block attacks from final form Gerard. I just think it's illogical. I just think one, it's illogical to think that this Gerard was fully formed, right? And this Gerard was at full power. And this Gerard was capable of exerting his full power because one, he was still composed of light, right? And we've seen it's consistent multiple times that when Gerard is hurt or damaged, the body part that was damaged turns into light, then it solidifies, right? And then it gets amped. And then 2, Gerard's legs were frozen. He doesn't even have full mobility at this point, right? And 3, I don't think y'all could ever prove that the AP of his hand is above the AP of his sword, right? The same sword that was able to block attacks with Shikai, Kenpachi, and stuff like that. Said to be the strongest Shinigami in the same fight. Sure, you can argue it's the final form, so he's the strongest, and that Byakuya just got stronger throughout the fight. I just don't think it's logical at all. With Unohana, she's stated to be the strongest Shinigami. She's stronger than everybody else at that point. She's able to box with eye patchless base Kenpachi. She's able to heal herself during the fight. So I don't know, unless y'all can convince me that Byakuya scales to a final form Gerard, a full power final form Gerard, and that Gerard is stronger than previous forms of Gerard, stuff like that, then I'm gonna just leave Unohana right here. Byakuya right here. I'm gonna put Yodorichi right here. She said it to be on par with Byakuya in the novel. Yeah. I'm gonna put Shunsui right here too. Where's Shunsui at? I'm gonna put Shunsui right here too. He was able to trade blow with Tokunada. Stuff like that. He's able to, I'm pretty sure he's able to damage Tokunada also in the novel. I'm gonna put Ukitake right here. The reason why is because everywhere Shunsui goes, Ukitake goes. Simple. That's the only way. Alright, that's it for the S tier. Alright, next we have the A+ tier. Most people that's going on this tier is like Squad Zero members and stuff like that. So let's go. First we have Uetsu. Uetsu was able to basically blitz and one-shot every single member of the shoot staff pool, and the shoot staff were above every other Stern Ritter. He's also confident that he can cut U-Haul based on the fight with the fake U-Haul. The fake U-Haul is able to react to Yamamoto a bit, and also completely body pre-awakened Kenpachi, right? So yeah, I have Uetsu up here. Next we have this lady. I forgot her name. Let me look up her name real quick.
An eternity later.
Pretty sure it's Kiro Hikafune. Yeah. Alright. Next up we have Alright. Next up we have Kiro Hikafune. Yeah, she's able to trap all the two staff members in her tree that they couldn't break out of. Who's next? Next up we have the man, the GOAT, the 7th Kenpachi. Most of y'all don't even know who the 7th Kenpachi is. My main man, 7th Kenpachi. The reason why I have the 7th Kenpachi up here is because he was able to box with Baragon and he defeated him. You might be saying, what the fuck? Baragon? What the fuck? Alright, listen, hear me out. Nah, that doesn't even make sense. Does Nah. Why is he up there? That is a great question. Let me think. People around him thought he was stronger than Shunsui, right? Shunsui doesn't really train, so he doesn't really get stronger. He was able to defeat Baragon in the past. That doesn't really matter though. And he was invited to join Squad Zero. So he's pretty strong, right? And his Bankai is just like a big claw that comes out of the ground, and it's like the size of the goddamn country or continent, and it just engulfs everything inside. And the only reason why he was beat by the 8th Kenpachi is because him using his Bankai in this series is prohibited. This might be wrong. I might be wrong. If y'all give me a reason why this is wrong, I'll admit this might be wrong, but I believe him up here just because he's a GOAT. Just because he's a GOAT. Next we have Tanjiro. Tanjiro was able to blitz Suifan, who's seen as someone fast in the Go Taker team. Tanjiro has basically no feats, but I'm gonna reach a bit and I'm gonna say he was able to reach Uetsu before Lily was able to shoot his gun. There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was able to reach Uetsu before Lily was able to shoot his gun. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Next we have Senji Maru, I think her name is. She was able to react to Gerard's travel speed. That's cool. She was able to defeat the wind. I forgot his name, but it's something with a W, right? And he might seem fodder. He's included with the people that came to the Reiryoku, right? And the people that came to the Reiryoku were stated to be the strongest Quincy. So that might be a reach, but it is what it is, bro. You're just gonna leave her up here. We have the 7th Kenpachi. We're gonna put the 7th Kenpachi right here. The reason why the 7th Kenpachi is up here is because he was able to box with Kenpachi. It stated that Aizen's Kyokugetsu could potentially not work on him, but that's because of his abilities, right? He's able to see everything in the Serite, so obviously the Kyokugetsu could possibly not work on him. Yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah, he's able to box with Kenpachi, who beat Cien, who was like the strongest spotter or something like that. But it's blatant that Kenpachi at this point is like significantly above the rest of the spotters, so it doesn't even matter. So we're just gonna leave him up here. Actually, we might put him down here. Now we're gonna put him right here. I don't think he needs to be up there because he would have casually been destroyed by him. So yeah, we're just gonna put the 7th Kenpachi right. Next on the list we have Shinji. Shinji was confident that if the Sternbenders grouped up outside of the Serite, that he could have activated his Bankai. Basically, they could have defeated himself. Basically, that's why he's up here. And I'm pretty sure he's able to box with Tokinata for a bit during the fight. Next we have Tosen. Oh shit. Next we have Tosen. Tosen is both implied and stated to be above the rest of the Espada. Stated in the anime and implied by Aizen. Alright, next we have Komamura. He was able to box with Holofly Tosen, who is above the Espada, right? And he's also able to box with Bambietta, and while in human form and basically immortal, he's able to defeat Bambietta also. Next we have Rose. Rose was able to fight with Masquerade Masculine, the same mask that was amped 2 times by James. Rose was able to box with Masquerade Masculine, and Mask had been amped 2 times by James, and like he was gonna defeat him with his Bankai, but Mask like busted his eardrum so he couldn't hear the Bankai, and then Mask ended up like one-shotting Rose, but we're gonna ignore that. Next is Kensei. Kensei was able to like beat up Mask for a little bit until he got amped, and the reason why he's below Rose is because Rose fought a more amped Mask than he did. Next is Love. Love basically only feat he has 2 feats actually, 2 feats. He was able to fight with Hollow-Fied Ichigo in the Rockheart, and he's also able to fight with Stark. In the 1000-Year Blood War, I'm pretty sure he's one of the 3 people that gets one shot by Gerard, but that's okay. It's Gerard. Next is Suifan. Wait a minute. I'm missing somebody. Rukia. Yeah, she's gonna be right there. She fought Asnot, who's able to beat Byakuya, pre-training Byakuya. Byakuya should be above the rest of the spotter by now. He was able to beat Yami and stuff like that. And Byakuya trains like every day, stuff like that. Next is Suifan. She was able to fight with BG9, the robot. She was also able to, she got blitzed by Baragon, but in Bankai she was able to damage him. Although her speed is trash with her Bankai, she doesn't really have that much mobility, and nobody's gonna sit around and wait for this big ass nuke to hit them, right? They're all gonna avoid it, right? But with her Bankai, she was able to damage Baragon, who is the 2nd strongest spot. It should still be stronger than people like Harley Bell and stuff like that, but that doesn't really do much for her. Lisa, she was able to fight Harley Bell, and that's it for this row. For the A row. Now it's time for the father people. Who are these people? I don't even know their names. I know y'all know these 2 names, but do y'all know these people's names? Alright, first we have the Kuchiki nigga. We're gonna put him at B simply because he was a noble, and nobles are considered to have like higher spiritual pressure than normal Shinigami, so we're just gonna put him there. We're gonna have Amagai at C. Actually, we're gonna put him at B. No, yeah, C. What does Amagai do? Oh yeah, Amagai fights with Bankai Bankai Ichigo. I don't know what arc this was. I think it was in the middle of a Ranka arc. But he was able to box with Bankai Ichigo. And he pulls up to Yamamoto, but I don't remember what happens, but I'm pretty sure he got bodied by Yamamoto. So we're just gonna leave him there. Next is this guy. He got beat by a Kenpachi that scales nowhere. He scales above a Raccoon guy Ikaku. That's cool. Next we have Iba and her. Like, they both have no feats. We don't even know how strong they are. They're both fodder. So yeah, that's it for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed my tier list. Y'all can take a screenshot, do whatever, you can send it out to people if you agree with. If you disagree, let me know in the comments and stuff like that. And I'll be back with another video. See y'all next time.